my name is Inky and welcome back to Lake of Voices. And last we left off, I think we made it to the island and we had set up camp for the night until the sun came up. And here we go. This is where we ended off, I think. It might be a line ahead, I'm not sure. Almost automatically, each member of the group turns in a different direction. Oh yeah, it was right where we ended off. Okay. As the sky continues to fade, from pale purple to a muted blue, the water stays silent. For the first time, nothing happens. It's a miracle. Suddenly my chest is lighter and the air is fresher. Oh, I remember what happened last. Oh no, I remember we lost Margaret last time. Oh, that's sad. I'd hope prowlers don't attack at daytime. If they do, we're screwed. The first pricks of light appear over the horizon, stinging my eyes after such a long journey through darkness. A sound catches my attention and I move my focus towards its direction. The guide is opening the latch of his lantern again. He gently, almost respectfully, blows out the light. We no longer... Oh wait, I gotta channel the guide's voice again. Oh, he looks so odd with like normal light. That's so strange. We no longer have to worry about the Nixie. It is over for today. I'm almost unable to keep tears of relief from pouring out those words. We made it through the night. We survived. But at what price? Right? No one feels the need to speak. We look at each other and understand passing between us. Then we find our own space, as comfortable as we can get, and lie down for the rest we weren't sure would ever come. ... My eyes slowly blink open and readjust to the brightness, what little there is. The sun is obscured by a thick layer of fog, making it impossible to estimate time of day. I put on my elbows and push myself up. The ground is hard and rocky, but that isn't the only reason I am eager to get on my feet. I check my surroundings. The harsh, craggy earth of the island is interlaced with twisting vines and gnarled branches. It sounds like a cool place. If only we could see more of it, but I'm sure they had like a time crunch for how much art they could do. Beside me, Bamel is still fast asleep. The guide, however, is nowhere to be seen. I realize I don't recall him seeing him lay down with everyone. It's likely he left hours ago. There's a creeping silence here. Did the guide abandon us? I guess he won't even have anywhere else to go. I can't help but shudder at the hollow, aching feeling inside of me. He refuses to relent. I shift my weight back and forth, unsure what to do with myself. Memories of last night's harrowing journey flicker through my mind. Bamel wakes suddenly, rising with alarm. My mouth opens, then shuts, and after a moment of fumbling, a word finally escapes. Hello? What? Is that what you say to people when they wake up? Not good morning, or just hello? Bamel gives me a gentle smile and makes his way over to me. Morning. A pocket of quiet descends over us. Bamel sighs. The atmosphere is weighing on him already. We should eat something soon. Yes. ... Oh, okay. Oh, hello! A distant rustling of the leaves around catches my attention. The guide appears, emerging from the thicket. Bamel glares at him as he makes his way over. The Nixie will not tread on land by daylight. However, being near the shoreline is still dangerous. If you leave the center of the island, remain cautious. Before the sun sets, I will be in this area. It will be wise to meet me here before nightfall. Why do you do this? I sharply turn towards Bamel as he snarls and confronts the guide. Why is he being aggressive now? Well, I mean, I guess we just went through hell. But still, I mean, if you just let him follow behind us, if you had been there before, none of this would have happened. They didn't have to die. The guide looks away, seemingly unaffected. If all you're gonna do is leave everyone to be lost, why bother guiding us at all? Despite Bamel's severe words, the guide appears considers his piece here hunt finished. He turns towards the forested area from which he came. Wait! Bamel calls out to the guide, reaching towards him. Before he can make contact, I quietly place a hand on his shoulder. He lowers his arm to his side, though I can feel wrath emanating from him. Oh gosh. Bamel, please don't kill the guide. We need him. We stay this way until the guide finally disappears from view. I'm adding words, like, not meaning to. I just can't read, if you can't tell already. Bamel begins to kick at the ground, spraying tiny pieces of gravel about. Bamel, I know you're angry, but regardless of our feelings, we need the guide. If he leaves us, we'll all die. And we've done so well with him. Eesh. Gosh, Bamel is taking a turn. I give him a cold glance. We We won't even know which bridge to take without the guide. Mel knows that. This needs to stop. The people counting us to make it back. We can't afford to lose our way. The anger etched in his expression fades into sadness. I can't stay here right now. Quietly, I speak. But Mel, wait, I need to be alone. I speak with the guide. I need to be alone. Not really. But Mel, wait, I must be with the guide. But Mel, wait. I just want him to wait. Oh, I speak too softly for him to hear. Lingering only for a moment, I start to follow the trail Bamel took. It doesn't take him long to notice I'm there, and he slows his pace so I can easily catch up with him. We fall on the step for a short while, neither of us speaking. Eventually we come to a thick stand of trees and wildly weave our way through the branches. Once we're hidden by the foliage, Bamel leans against a tree trunk, head hung low. Negativity radiates off of him. I don't know what I should say. Fortunately, he breaks the silence. I apologize for back there. I nod firmly. His reply isn't unexpected. For as long as I have known Bamel, he has a tendency to let his temper flare, then regret it later, after processing his thoughts. I know that dealing with these sorts of situations calmly is part of the job, but I cannot tell myself everything is fine or none of it matters. Sure, I can feel something with it being anger, but I have not figured that out either. Hold on. Rather than speak, I try to listen as supportively as I can while Bamel continues to argue with himself. He sighs while pensively rubbing the bridge of his nose. Am I simply being foolish? Would it really have been so harmful to try and help someone else instead of focusing solely on oneself? Is that the game saying, hey, you made a mistake? Because I may have. It looks to me like we were telling ourselves these lines to avoid responsibility. I don't know. It's possible your helping would have worked better. It's also possible it would have been worse. Bamel stares across the empty waters of Sinlos. I want to be clear, I've not forgotten that those people across the lake are depending on us. Not for a moment. But would they want us to be so focused on them that we should turn a blind eye to others right in front of us? Even if they would, does that matter? We are more than weapons, we are people. Do we have a cast it aside to away from our fellow humans just to achieve a so-called greater good? It is not as though this village is a haven of saints. They're only as worthwhile as we are, and these people are on the bridges with us. Aren't they? I don't know. I can feel the weight of his words settle upon me. I have similar thoughts and have questioned what the correct choice is, but unlike Bamel, I've always been silent. I clench my fists tight, trying to stop from saying something rash. Bamel closes his eyes tight and rubs his face again. It's clear this hasn't been enough to give him peace. Eventually, his eyes reopen, look directly into mine. What do you think about all this, Kika? Please, be honest with me, I want to hear it. Suddenly, my eyes are hot. My vision blurs slightly from tears I just began trying to hold back. I really don't know. That is the truth. Oh, my words are soft. I should have said that more softer, but I didn't think about it. Whether he had heard or not, the look on his face is enough to garner attention. His eyebrows shoot up in surprise. He looks straight with eyebrows up. Maybe that's just me, but He walks over to me slowly, concerned. Kika, what is troubling you? What do you think is troubling me? We're on an island. We just saw 2 people die. Well, one guy assumably implied he was dead. We saw one of our friends die at the arms of Nixie. We have been dodging death at every turn. I wonder why I'm troubled right now, and we're only halfway through, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't have the answers to what you are wondering. Who am I meant to protect? Everyone we can? Whoever we're told to serve and no one else? Just ourselves? Should we try to protect others when the risk is minimal? I have no idea what the right option is. The most confusion only mounts with my words. I'm sorry for disappointing you. No, you haven't disappointed me in any way. I should never expected someone else to give me answers with those kinds of questions. It is only... I did not think of that. As I finished his thought, but I know what he meant to say. You don't think I was concerned with these issues? He smiles awkwardly over being caught. Yes, he has to be bothered by anything experienced before now. With his words, my carefully held resolve crumbles. In an instant, my cheeks are wet with hot fluid cooling in the chill air as it slips down my face. I've always cared. I've always been afraid and confused, but I've kept up a... I stop and gasp for air. My throat almost as tight as when we were winning on the bridges. A farce of strength in order to get by. I breathed deeply with relief, terrified lightheaded from my confession. Mel's voice is as delicate as flower petals. I had no idea. How could I not have noticed? Because I did whatever I could to make sure no one did. I never wished to appear weak in front of others, but the truth is, I better get through each day. I often feel overwhelmed with the sadness of it all we have all experienced. Oh, this is getting sad. We're getting into Kika's like psyche. Oh, this is kind of sad. But Mel gently. I'm kind of glad we're getting to know her though, because we are playing as her. But Mel gently places his hands on my shoulders as I try not to sob wildly. Kika, I truly apologize for those things I've said to you. I shake my head, sniffling. There's no need for you to apologize. He smiles, the warmth almost enough to make me forget the damp. I beg to differ. I failed to treat you right. You've always been respectful. A person needs more than respect from their comrades. They also need support. I never given you the kind of consideration before. I believe someone like you didn't need it. The same can be said for me. Nonsense. You listen to my rambling on more occasions than I can remember. Though I admit my memories may not be there to being drunk many of those times. Ramel's laughs at himself while glancing in my direction to encourage me to do the same. His comforting words make me smile, and I feel tears finally cease to fall. And I will continue to support you, so it is not necessary. And that's me, like, I'll continue to support you. This is like a lovey-dovey little thing. I love him. I love them together. They're so cute. He grins wider than he has since we began this horrible journey. You have my thanks, and you have mine. Abruptly, his expression becomes serious once more. I'll come to answer these questions someday, but no matter what I decide, I will still put trust in your judgment. I fear I might not live up to the belief that he seems to have in me, but I nod firmly. He returns my nod. You give him the nod, he gives you the nod, and all is well in the world. Perhaps we should go check how everything is on the island? This is like an excellent idea. I'll accompany you, of course. Are we gonna patrol the island? Like, there's not much to save or people to really check out. I mean, Margaret's dead. The guy is still alive, but he doesn't really care about anything. Glad to hear it. Together, we walk back towards the interior of the island. Both our moves lift as we stay side by side. Mel and I head to the wooded part of the island. There isn't anything that could be called a path, but we managed to pick our way through the bush quite well. Through a thinner stand of trees, we briefly catch sight of the guy standing on one of the beaches. That was a weird way to say beaches. The beaches. He seems fine, but even though I'm sure he turned his head toward me, he makes no show of acknowledging us. It takes less time than I would have hoped for us to see all there is on this isolated place. Now we will spend time simply waiting. A far more unpleasant task. We seat ourselves underneath a large tree at the meeting point. There's no sign of the sun setting, and I find myself becoming increasingly restless. I release a breath. I've yet to shake the dark and troubling thoughts coursing through my mind. A pat on the back grants me a moment's reprieve. It truly is just the two of us. Deep sorrow stirs inside me at the thought. However, having Bamel here with me gives at least some comfort. I lay against his shoulder, and he doesn't move to stop me. Aww, that's so cute. We sit together quietly as we wait for the sun to descend from the sky. Oh, that's a pretty background. Oh, that's so pretty. The colors. They did a great job on art for this game, man. It's amazing. The sky turns orange as the sunset comes upon us. As the colors seem to drain from the world, being consumed by the fog, the guide makes his appearance. It's almost time. I nod and feel myself grow tense. We truly are about to return to those bridges. All of us wait in an uncomfortable silence until the night falls. The night settles like a shroud over the land, every inch of the world now covered in unrelenting darkness. Suddenly, there is a gurgling. The water parts as the bridges of Sinlos rise powered by some unnatural force, creaking like they might fall apart. I feel an inexplicable pounding like a hammer in the back of my head, beating faster and heavier than my own heart. I clench my teeth to stop from churning my stomach. We must go now. The guy doesn't wait for any replies, briskly starting in the direction of the shore. Mel and I match his pace. I can feel the air weighing on us, a sensation that slows our steps despite being rested. Something hovers in my mind, the mirrored memory of the beginning of the last night's journey. One night ago, it feels like a lifetime has passed. The thick, inky water. Hey, that's me! I'm in the water? It's so stupid. Slushes willfully off of the boards, bleeding black into the lake, until finally it stills. A shudder crawls over my body until I place my foot on the boards. I quickly shake it off. I have no other option. We have to go through this again. Oh, the lighting is back! The amazing lighting! As tense as the day-old corpses, we walk over the bridges in silence. The only sound that accompanies us is the thick lapping of the water at the bridge. But Mel stays close by my side with a sour expression on his face. He evidently has little interest in masking his disgust. He remembers something beneath his breath, but it's inaudible. I decided to ask about it. It wasn't meant for me to hear. ... Is he biting his lip? I'm kind of uncomfortable. It feels as though barely any time has passed when it was explaining that half the night has creeped by. Crept by? Creeped by. Crept by? I don't know how you say that. We encounter a few sunken bridges which has forced us to reroute, while other paths were rotten enough to make us stagger our steps. However, the biggest threat of all is eerily absent, the Prowlers. I haven't seen more than shadowy glimpses of them than our other paths, and even those may have simply been tricks of the fog. I feel I may be even more on edge tonight than last. Judging by Bamel's tenseness, he isn't set at ease by their lack of presence either. Why? I whispered to quiet softly, almost silently as I scanned left and right across the impossible empty bridges for any sign of movement. I pondered whether they're still weary from the consuming blaze that lit up the night yesterday, or if there are less dragging themselves across the bridges than usual because many have already gotten what they wanted. My skin crawls with a touch of icy fingers at the thought, and I can't control the sharp shiver that travels on my spine. Mel catches my concern and brings himself closer to my ear. This isn't right. It should be nearly as easy to cross, not to what we went through the other night. Could they be planning something? Mel lightly shakes his head. He speaks with suspicion in his voice as he peers at the guide ahead. I don't know. As time passes by, we continue to see nothing but more bridges and fog. Beside me, Bamel is becoming more and more agitated the longer we go without disruption. I can read Bamel well enough to know that his anger is still directed at the guide rather than the bridges themselves. It was my hope that he would be able to contain his feelings toward our lead, and so we had put the maze behind us. It has become unlikely. I resolve to step in before he grows too heated and there's another hazardous argument. Your concentration is clouded, Bamel. What is troubling you? Surely you aren't already aware. It's him. Bamel glowers hatefully at the guide. I pursed my lips for a minute before continuing, resigned. I do know I do know that. However, you need to stop allowing that to consume you, or else you could get hurt, or even... Bamel releases an exacerbated sigh when crossly folding his arms. That isn't possible. I can't stop myself from thinking about it. Everything makes so much sense now. What do you mean by that? Recall yesterday, I asked him why he would lead others at all if he was heartlessly going to leave behind. What if this is the reason? For we could scarcely escape the monsters, and I can't even hear a whisper of one. What if they're already satisfied with what they've taken? My eyes widen and I stifle a gasp. The situation at hand gave me both of us a reason to make that possibility is absolutely unsettling, but his conclusion is even worse still. I could have been right! I called it! The guy is evil! He is feeding the lake. Or maybe not, I don't know. The notion of the guide allowing others to die unnecessarily on purpose to make it less dangerous for the remaining few, that is something I was prepared for. I called it! I called it! You guys, if I'm wrong, then whatever, but if I'm right, I know. I know. Even back when we started, the first time we met the guide, he mentioned that at least one of us would die before the journey was finished. Didn't that exchange seem strange to you? He says as though it was a price to pay for coming with him. The guide is free to do as he pleases. He can, and he will, threaten to leave the entire group behind as so much of a hint of resistance. Nothing is stopping him. He knew this was going to happen. He had to know. Oh, whoa! It's like a conspiracy theory. I take a few minutes to breathe. Despite the danger, only barely was just shutting my eyes against the world. We need to make it to the other side. We must keep moving forward and survive. The guide is our only way across. My usual reply to Mamel's worries does not make an impression. His eyes are not swayed. He continues to stare into me. I am saying he cannot be trusted with our lives at this very moment. I need an answer to that, Kika. What do you really think? I do not agree. We can discuss at the end and say nothing. I don't know. I don't know. We can discuss at the end. It's the smartest thing right now because I don't want to start anything yet. Because if they start resisting and saying, "Oh, you do this, you do that," he might shut the whole thing down and be like, "Well, you can just die." So I'm not gonna be okay with that. So I'm just gonna be like, discuss it later. If we live, we live. But if he starts anything, if he's any more suspicious, we're gonna shut this thing down ourselves. Coming to any decision on the matter is impossible right now. There's too much danger and too many unknowns to an account for to reach any sort of conclusion. I have no choice but to shut the conversation down. I can only hope Mel will take it seriously. When everything is through, then we may talk about it, and then discuss it. Discussion? Mel doesn't battle me further on the issue. His face no longer retains any anger, only sorrow. He returns his gaze straight ahead. Dots again. Our progress continues steadily, and we encounter no significant difficulties. How much longer until we reach the other side? We travel quite a ways. Mel's quiet, breaking question doesn't sound particularly enthused. It should only be another couple of hours. Mel's unconvinced. It is only I who notices. The guy suddenly stops. Eerily, he turns his head to the side and looks back at us. Is there a problem with that? Is there? We progress to the bridges at a much quicker clip this time, but Mel's question is not idle curiosity. He was covering that fact for himself. I should have known. The guy looks so slightly irritated over the attitude Mel has taken. If you have something to say, you should say it. Unless you're afraid that I'm going to leave you behind. No! He's evil. I knew it. I know he's evil now. I knew it. I called it. Was the first episode or was the second one? Either way, I had a feeling that he was a bad guy. I knew it. I knew that he would be bad. His statement lands heavily on us. Did he listen to our conversation? There was no sound to cover our voices. However, I assumed we were far enough away from the guy to keep our words to ourselves. He says with an icy expression and nearly freeze in place. Mel, on the other hand, heats up and grows more hostile. He leaves my side to rush into the guy's flickering light. Don't! This is going much too far. I urge him to come back. He ignores me and takes a stand facing the guide. Am I right? Are you going to leave it behind for what I've done? The guy's about it all by Mel entering the space. He gives a level answer. No. Well, that's grand. In that case, I'll have to know if I'm on the right track about something else. Are the monsters missing because they've already eaten, or is there some other reason why they've all mysteriously vanished? The guy pauses for a moment. His eyes close and becomes completely still. It's possible. Oh, it's possible, is it? But Mel glares at the guy over the admittance. It's as though he heard nothing of the first line that the guy spoke. The guy is unfazed. So I'm kind of confused about something. How big is Sinlos and how many Nixies are there? Because we only saw 2 Nixies eating at Margaret. Well, 2 Nixies brought her down. So I assume only 2 of them, like, ate her? Maybe more came. They're like scavengers or something. But I would assume, like, maybe there were more Nixies than what one person could satisfy. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, it seems kind of odd that we don't, like, Margaret died and only 2 of them presumably ate her, and there are no more Nixies anywhere on the bridge. So they're all full. It's kind of weird. Let's only take 1 bite of a corpse each. This is dark and morbid, I know, but at the same time, it makes you wonder, like, the logistics of what's happening. If you enter those bridges, all you should expect is death. It is no secret. You need to stop putting so much energy in finding meaning, or else you will end up like the others. But Mel ends up speechless, caught off guard by the guy openly discussing his association. The guy continues about Mel's silence, annoyance slipping into his voice. You think the results would have been sorry, wrong voice. You think the results would have been different if I had only said more or did something differently, but that is not true. The conclusion would be exactly the same. If Lou hadn't died when he did, he would have been lost at some other point during the trip. You knew his name? Wait, did he tell us his name? Did he? Oh, we'll find out. Oh, he didn't tell us his name. Lou? Yes, Lou was his name. I had spoken with him in the past. He wanted to cross the bridges. I deemed him unfit. He was far too desperate and unprepared. There is no helping someone like that. The guy seems even more agitated as he elaborates. Mel seems to be finished with being surprised. His anger reignites. If that's all well and true, why haven't you died yet? How is it you've been able to cross these horrendous bridges over and over again without suffering the same consequences as everyone else? The guy's face twists into a vicious snarl. He shouts, I have died! I have no life to give. Everything I am, everything I could have been was surrendered to this lake. That's the only reason why I'm able to stand before you now. I can show you the way. I can give you advice on how to survive the perils you will face. That is all I'm able to offer. Isn't that enough for you? What else do you want from me? Kindness? Sympathy? 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 It's been far too many years since I was capable of giving anything like that. Jesus, the guy exploded. I wasn't expecting that, of all things. He expected to stop. He finally stops to catch his breath, though the emotion in his eyes still shines intently. There is no response from either of us. So is he a ghost, or is he saying he died metaphorically? I'm going to take the latter. An agonizing silence permits the air. No one even dares to even move. I haven't heard that in real life. The tension is cut as the board's music begins to creak. My eyes dart down. The bridge is sinking! Rapidly, instinctively, I jump backwards. But the section of the bridge groans horribly as it too starts to tilt into the water. They keep getting farther and farther away at each spring platform as I move off of. Kika! I look up at Mel's call. My chest tightens when I see him in the guide on what was becoming the side of a small chasm. I leap back in time as the bridge under me snaps like a twig. Glancing over again, they keep getting farther and farther away with each spring platform I move off of. Dread queues up my neck and I nearly lose my footing once I realize what's happening. Despite stumbling backwards, I finally managed to regain my balance. I use this to leap far enough back to the bridge that I land on doesn't immediately start to fall apart under my weight. If she knows. Another 3 swift tips and I fell on sturdy wood. The bridge was going to stop, shifting to settle. The only trace left of what was once a huge lift on the bridge is fused with its boards, floating in the murky water. The lake consumed it. Somehow I'm not surprised. Regaining my bearings, I face what has become my circumstances. I'm not suffering from Mel, and the guy was by a far wider gorge than anyone could leap. My throat goes bone dry as I see at the edge of the bridge, mind wildly scrambling for a solution that doesn't come. I lock onto Mel's face. He's completely aghast, running from one side of the bridge to the other like a panicked animal. There's no mistaking that he's desperate to help me in some way, however there's also no mistake there isn't any options available to him. He turns to the guy with pleading eyes, all his earlier hostility sunken with the bridges. I'm too far off to grasp what Mel's asking, but I get the impression he is seeing if there's another way. The guy turns to me. He's completely cooled from the other interaction, back to his same placid expression. He focuses black on Bamel, who is now gripped him by the cloak. The guide says one word. Judging from the look of pure terror on Bamel's face, I can only assume it was no. There's no way back to them. The guide frees himself from Bamel's grasp and continues speaking. Bamel still seems horribly shaken at his words. I can barely see from here, but I think he's quivering. As I watch the two discuss my fate, unable to say anything, fears to crawl over my arm. My arm runs cool to cold to freezing. It's not long before the rest of my body follows. I notice Bamel covers his with a still shuddering hand. Ooh, itchy. The guy's voice echoes loudly across the water separating me from them. Go back and take the next bridge you come across that goes west. There may be enough time for you to find your own way. I blink, taken aback from the moment, but I quickly regain my composure. That's right, this isn't over. I still have my lantern with me. The powers are less active, and if the guide says that's possible, it could be true. I nod solemnly at his words and yell back, I'll meet you there! Don't wait for me! He bows his head and starts to slowly back away from the edge. Mel pulls his head from his hands and looks at me. Even across the water, I can tell he is crying. I attested they hide to part ways with Mel, however, I know there's no other way. I smile from looking at him as the wind whips against my back. I speak softly. You need to go. There's nobody who could have heard me. I'm confident this has been got across. I spin on my heels and run back to the way we came, searching for the bridge the guy said to take. I can only hope that we all sleep through the night before the night ends. By the way, guys, I think I'm going to end this episode here today. I'm going to end this game in this episode, so it might be a bit longer, but I want to get this done since I don't think we have a lot left in this game. If it probably will be a bit longer, maybe almost an hour, I don't know, but we'll see. I want to get this done either way. I spare a brief glance behind me, however there's no trace of them or even the dead end I was stranded at. With painful contracting of my heart, I realize that I am truly alone now. Quickly, I shake out the thought and refocus my attention on what's in front of me. The first branching of the path comes into reach. I skid to a full stop in front of it. The path west is as dark and desolate as every bridge. It's impossible to see what's down it the twisting way. Don't breathe in my ear, please. The previous conversation comes floating back to me. Now that I'm here, I must face the concern. Is the guy reliable? Can he be trusted? I had to leave so they could go on without being weighed down, but that I don't regret. But however, I can't help but wonder if the guy couldn't give me a proper suggestion because of the sinking bridges. A mistake could have been made. Whoops. It is also possible he not only gave me false hope to keep the situation calm, or perhaps intentionally set me the wrong path because it was easy for them if I did not make it. I look between the pathways. Based on my direction, it does seem as though other options could potentially connect to me to them before the West does. Yet I cannot possibly know that until I move forward and make a decision. Follow the guide's path, because I know he could be evil, but we don't have any other way to trust, in all honesty. Like, we don't know where the fuck we're going. Only he would know. So we gotta trust his words. No, I can't allow doubt to take control. We know from the beginning there is only one path to let's travel to safety. His. I'll take the guy on his word. Yeah, that's the thing. He may be untrustworthy, but I don't think he would. Because apparently, if he was on Nixie's side, they had been fed. He has nothing else to worry about, and he'll probably help us. If he doesn't, then whatever, but you know. Without wasting an additional moment, I make my way across the western bridge. I walk at a moderately brisk pace on the way, not wanting to risk tripping or running out of energy in the moment when I need it. The weirdness of the lake was as concerning before, now it is overwhelming. The woods like fog drifting over the water limits my vision in the span of my arms. In utter silence was the comfort, despite how otherworldly it felt, but the whispering of the lake has started to stir now. I gulp, despite myself. They have noticed me. As their chattering grows, I consider briefly if the others hear them as well, or if they have come out specifically because I am on my own. I straighten my back and walk more surely. I can't let them believe I'm an easy target. I'll even consider keeping my sword in the hand, but it doesn't seem entirely likely to realize it's something that can hurt them. Yeah, because swords can't hurt them. To keep my mind from wandering into dark places, I can count my steps we're used to in training. 1, 2, 3, 4, ... Quite a strange rhyme, but I didn't question it. Despite my best efforts, things are starting to get to me. My worries wash over me, causing painful twinges underneath my clothes and make me jerk and twitch like a fly-bitten horse. The whispering in human voices, the feeling of vulnerability, the horrible thought of being hopelessly lost, all together is consuming me. My pace makes one steady rhythm of my counting set. It quickens more as I start to succumb to fear. My brisk steps turn into long, frantic strides. Something in me whispers, "Faster, go faster, don't let them catch you," and I listen. I break into a run, like moving on landmines. Flashes of fear explode my mind, and I drive my feet harder, faster, stronger, like Daft Punk. Along the path, they give me strength. Until suddenly my sense of reason returns and I stop dead. My chest rises and falls with deep heaving breaths. I try to calm myself down. The monsters erupt into an inharmonious chorus of what sounds like to be wicked laughs. I fight the urge to shout back at the creatures. This feels like a nightmare I will never wake up from. I take another breath and resume my measured progress. And yet to the first crossroad, I continue with the guide's simple direction, keeping west every chance I get. I know there are hints for this labyrinth. It's difficult to tell how much time has passed. It must be at least an hour, judging by how much energy I've expended. Since I recomposed myself, I have not stopped walking for a second. Despite how much time has worn on, the route still feels like an endless abyss. Then I hear a noise because of the shuddering chill that creep my spine. Yeah, that's weird. Stop that, please. And even clicking from a squeaking sound. It's a prowler. I immediately turn to look behind me. There's nothing. I breathe out, relieved. My ears search for the source of the noise, but with all the babble and Nixie I'm making, the direction was clouded. I strained my ears. That's it. The noise is drifting slowly from when the clicking path up ahead. I feel until the noise is drawing nearer. The prowler has not yet arrived yet, but as soon as past it lines up with my own. I will not wait for it to reveal itself, leading to me two options. I can run past the bridge connection to get ahead of it, or I can turn back and find a new path to take. I kind of want to run past it, because with the light, he'd be like, ah! You know what I mean? Like, they don't like light. I don't think he's going to like a little girl, but either way, he'd be very terrified, probably. And run past, he'd probably be able to catch up with me, so... Run, go past it. I face the following same path, I hope I didn't make the wrong decision. I've been this for the best. I still myself and build up speed. I get closer and closer to the branch with the lurking threat and pick up my pace so I'm sprinting. I hear a gurgling hiss as I pass through the crossroad. Must have been close enough to be pained by the light. I barely made it. However, I didn't hear any splash. It is still nearby. But it probably won't come close because of light, right? I look behind me to see if it decided to come no further. Oh! No thank you! Horrified, Luce is pointedly following me. It is only mindlessly dragging itself into blackness. I have become its target. And what about the light? It hates the light. Why is it doing that? It slim bent wildly and naturally. It looks like as though it's barely keeping itself upright as its torso wobbles on its hips. It isn't stopping it from giving chase. I focus my view back and continuing to run. My breathing rapidly becomes ragged. I can still hear the squishing footsteps of the prowler behind me as it lunges its body forward in an unnatural gait. Without warning, the bridge lurches to one side. Oh no! No! Catching me completely off guard, I lose my footing and slam into the damp surface of the bridge. My light falls with me, painfully snuffing out. Splashes and the exciting of many voices come from the lake. How? Why? Is it rotting, or did they push the support beams? I'm left with no time to ponder as the monster draws near. I scramble back onto my feet as it closes in. Grabbing my dark lantern, I resume running to put some space between us again. I open the latch on the lantern and pull out a match. I had to slow down, at least briefly, to properly light the flame without it blowing out. With death still on my heels, I must not let one precious moment be wasted. Set on my plan, with everything in hand, I begin to increase my pace. Light the lantern! Do it! Do it! You will not die this day, Kika! You will not die this day! I will make sure you live and get with the metal and have beautiful little babies. Moving as fast as I am capable, I place a lit match in the lantern and oil catches fire. As the flame grows, I can hear the awful footsteps behind me begin to peter out. I see the guns behind me. It truly has stopped. The return of the light seems to have catch it off guard. Thankfully, the climb is coming closer. Oh, good. Run! Don't stare it down! Don't do that! It's gonna come and try to eat your head off. After a moment's reprieve to breathe, I rush forward once more. Fighting isn't an option. I need to get away from the monster. I'm not able to run fast enough, however. Although loud screams and probably lashes into my body from behind. I'm thrown to the ground again. The shock is great. The lantern slips in my hand, seeing across the bridge out of my reach. Because it came caught up with the light, the prowler drops itself back into the depths of attacking again. Yes! Take that! You big wobbly bitch! Take it! There's no time to feel relieved. Arms and other Nixie emerge from the water and reach up the side of the bridge, scraping the boards as they try to get me. Ew, no thanks. Again, Kika, really with the freaking fan service shot? I mean, I get that you're like dying, but please try not to do that. Have some respect for yourself, girl. Try to climb up to my feet, but one of the creatures takes hold of me before I can properly stand. I'm dragged back down to the ground, my jaw smacking hard against the bridge. Ow! As Nixie blindly pulls me towards the edge. Other slimy, clawed hands grab onto me as I jam my nails hard into caressing the bridge. I kick frantically at others of silhouettes, but they keep pulling me closer to the edge. I curl my fingers around uneven wood tighter. Despite all my effort, there is no support. My bloody, splintered fingers come loose. Water engulfs my vision, heavy and cold, so I think I can't even hear my own thrashing. I try to grab my sword, try to fight back, but I can't even get it out of the hilt. Resistance against me is encompassing. Something grabs my arm and then my waist. I get pulled from side to side or further down. First one way and then another. The water feels like a solid substance. I'm being dragged against it like I'm being pressed through something. My vision grows darker and darker. I can't tell whether I'm getting lower or whether I'm losing consciousness. My arm flails bring me closer to whatever the surface is, but nothing is working. Complete darkness engulfs me. Was everything I've done worth it? I must believe that it was. Is that the end? We got her killed. I got her killed. We got the ending that was panic. Okay. RIP! That's so sad! I thought at least we'd, like, live. That's so sad. That was a good game, though. Okay, I'm not gonna, like, try to get, like, a good ending or anything. That's my ending. You guys want to see, like, the other endings, you play it for yourself. That's how I'm gonna do this. But yeah, I love this game. The art is so good. Like, the way they drew everything. I can tell they put a lot of work into this, and it's free, so check it out right now if you can. It's amazing. Show the creators some love. Like, they don't charge anything for this game. It's amazing. It's good. It's great. Oh, I really wish that... Poor Mel is gonna be, like scarred because he lost us, isn't he? I hope he's okay, then. I hope he moves on and has, like, a good life. Jesus. This is a nice little short series, though. I had a lot of fun with it. It was fun giving the characters voices and seeing their personalities and the possible conspiracy with the guy. That was interesting. I still don't know if he's actually evil or not, but I guess I'll never find out. Maybe I'll find out. If anyone has, like, their own endings, post them in the comments. That'd be amazing. They might branch out with that story more, like, in other endings. So, yeah. Anywhere where Kika don't die. I'm so sorry, Kika. Like, it's like, I'm talking to you on title screen right now. I'm so sorry. That's so sad. I'm very sorry. I have to kill him. But wow, that was a fun series. I hope you guys enjoyed it too, because I had a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this series and this video. And if you didn't, push your crush like button with the beast you are, and maybe subscribe for more content. With that being said, I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Stay wild. See ya.
Running.